everybody. Eric here for Foley plays the Centennial case for a bit. So, what the hell is the Centennial case? Well, Centennial case is a full motion video mystery crime thing that I presume has something to do with a century or a 100-year case or something like that. Unravel the mysteries of death and find the answers to life, apparently. Well, okay. I don't know how I'm going to do either of those, but I'll figure it out. Me shrinky dink. Gameplay recording paused. Not for us, gang. Not for us. Only if you are recording specifically with the PlayStation. This game is a work of fiction. Its characters are gone. Oh well. These help us maintain the mystery. This game consists of a series of mysteries to be solved. Okay. Don't spoil shit. This game supports autosave when the icon above appears on screen. Please do not exit the game. Okay. Play the game text in English. Play audio in English. So for the purposes of the stream, I am going to dub and subtitle as well. Just because I know some people, when they have the stream on, they aren't necessarily watching the stream. They might just be listening to it. So yeah, I'm going to leave both of these on. You do have the option to play the audio in Japanese. If I was playing the game by myself at home, I would do this. But I'm not. But I would always have the game text in English because I do not understand written Japanese. Francais. Japanese, presumably. Alright, we're going to go with this, though. Accessibility. What are these? Display closed caption for players. Yeah, this is closed caption stuff. No, I don't think we need that. For language settings, you can only change text and audio settings from options on the title screen. Sure. Kanda Jinboko, Tokyo. Book Cave Work, 2022. Haruka Kagami book signing. Quite the signature. Swirls. Haruka Kagami. We have a person has been added. Killer DNA by Haruka Kagami. Detective Makoto Nishimari series screen adaptation confirmed. Okay, so they've got a film version on its way.
You're quite the success.
Eiji
You're a
Shijima.
bona fide best-selling mystery writer now, Haruka. Oh, here.
We couldn't have done it without your help, Eiji. Thank you.
It's nothing.
Kariyamase.
You should have told me you were coming. You didn't have to wait in line.
Hang on. When they said display text, I assumed they meant subtitles, but I guess they didn't. Anyway, subtitles are on now. Subtitle background. Yes? Yeah, we'll put that on. Okay. Good. Sound? No. Controller? That's fine. Brightness? We'll figure out if that needs to be changed when we actually get into the game. Would you like to change settings? Yes, please.
Did you really come here for my autograph?
Of course.
Or are you here to see Akari?
Both?
No,
Can't it be
not
both?
That.
Huh?
I mean, let's just say I wanted to see the both of you.
Very
Actually,
diplomatic of you.
I have a favor to ask of
A
you.
favor?
Favor?
A favor?
There's a once-in-a-century succession at my family home, and I was hoping you could get some information for me.
Your family home?
Ah,
Do you mean that grand estate at the foot of Mount Fuji?
no, I mean the set of trash bags I
My family
have
has
just
spent many years on medical
outside the train
research.
station.
In particular, how to stop the aging process.
Okay.
Embarrassing, but I had a huge fight with my father that ended with me leaving the family. And that's why I want you to do some investigating
Why?
while pretending to write a feature story.
What are we investigating?
The
Where-
so-called
where my money?
fruit of youth. It's been passed down for generations in my family and a recently unearthed skeleton.
Skeletons. A skeleton, is it?
At 3 p.m. yesterday, the police were informed that skeletal remains had been found at an estate in Penmamura, Fujimine County, Shizuoka.
I know where that is.
The
Absolutely.
remains of
It's near
indeterminate age
near
and
Mount Fuji
gender
anyway.
were
That's
buried
about
under
it.
a large cherry tree. The police are trying to establish the identity of the deceased.
Oh, you guys didn't go very far, really, did you? Still, it's a full-on skeleton at this point. It's been a while. Tenmamura Shizuoka. There's no civilization anywhere to be seen. Well, maybe a little bit. The Preluge, the cherry blossom ceremony. Bit of matcha while we're at it. I had some of that. It's gross. Some people like it, I don't like it. Yokoshijima. So the subtitle for the Centennial case is A Shijima Story. So I believe it revolves around this family. They do have a thing about where you're meant to sip from. You're meant to, I believe, sip from the same spot as everybody to show like a sign of trust and whatever have you. I think that's why they specifically rotate it in that position.
Who'd have thought? E.g., a literary consultant.
Yes. Haruka here writes mystery novels, and he makes sure that all the science is sound.
So, does he come
He's
up
a
with the crime
biologist.
tricks too?
No, I devised them myself.
That's amazing. I read mysteries sometimes, but I never know who the culprit is. Is there some secret to figuring them out?
Yes, it's usually the first
Well,
person introduced.
It sounds obvious, but every story contains a mystery. And there will always be clues to help solve that mystery.
Unless you're watching it on
Just try to
TV, and then
connect
it's
these
the guest
clues
character
and
or the guest
somehow
actor
you'll
that
arrive
you
at a
recognize.
hypothesis.
that you
Connect the clues
recognize
to the
is in
mystery.
something more
Yes.
famous.
Every story has a mystery, as
Oh,
well
no.
as clues to help solve that mystery.
We're in the Matrix.
In this cognitive space,
Our
I
mind
put
palace.
the mystery and clues together like a puzzle. Come up with a hypothesis and build a connected path of logic.
And I'm here to help with the reasoning, huh?
Yes, but remember, you're just an image of AG inside my head.
Well,
Okay,
then,
it's pretty
Let's
accurate.
give it a
You
shot.
couldn't have like maybe a bit taller, gave me a bigger penis or something. Okay, very fancy. This is the gameplay part, I guess. This is the cognitive reasoning space, the mind palace. On the left, you'll find some mysteries already in place with clues floating around them. Combine them to advance your reasoning. Okay, so far it's a bit like the Sherlock Holmes games. There are open spaces around mysteries. Mysteries and clues can be connected by placing relevant clues in these spaces. Can I just place anything, though? Or will you tell me if I'm wrong, is the question. Mysteries. Let me have a look at some mysteries. Mystery. Every story has a mystery and clues to help that mystery. Connecting the two will reveal hypotheses. Hypothesis. Clues help solve mysteries. Connect mysteries and clues to create a hypothesis. Okay, I gotta drag it. Clunk. I did it. Hypothesis. Clues help solve mysteries. Connecting the two creates hypothesis. Create multiple hypotheses to uncover the truth. Multiple? Surely you only need the one, right? Just get it right first time. There's a lot of effort. Just get it right first time. Okay, and you can go back and play the different. Press L1 or R1 to switch scenes, left and right. To move the path of logic back and forth, press up and down. Press right analog stick for final control. Press. Don't get it. Anyway, are there more mysteries? No. Reasoning. Reasoning is complete when enough hypotheses have been created. Reasoning. I did it.
Well, something like that.
I see.
clues to the mystery and form a hypothesis.
Oh,
That's
that's
how
how
you
you
read a
pronounce
mystery
it. Okay.
Akari, you are an editor, right?
Suppose.
How do you know E.G.?
We bang.
I met him when we were looking for an advisor on scientific matters. We practically forced him to arrange today's session as well. Thank you so much for agreeing to meet us.
Ryoya insist on it. Please, make yourselves comfortable.
Okay, can I stand up?
Thank you.
God, my knees are gonna kill me.
Oh, that looks very good on you.
It's been ages since I last wore a kimono.
You look so handsome in it.
She's right. I barely recognize you.
Well, I can't get the cherry blossom
I'm
ceremony in
hot.
regular clothes. It was all laid out for me, and most importantly,
Tall and black? What?
Hmm?
Makes my dick look huge. What's most important? You want it to look good for Kari? What's most important? Will we continue being a shit to him?
You wanted to look good for Akari?
of course not.
Uh-huh.
All the same, I'm glad there was a spare kimono for him.
Whose kimono is it?
Actually, this kimono was made for me a long time ago.
Really? How long ago? It fits you pretty well.
Oh,
Did they just guess
We
his
have
size
guests.
really, really well?
I'm sorry for intruding. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Sorry. Have we met?
Yeah, I'm your mother.
Yoyoi's only been with us for 3 years. Or perhaps you know one another from before?
No. There's just a familiar scent in the air.
Oh, she fucking is his mom. Watch this now.
That's probably me. I'm wearing a perfume with citrus notes.
Now that you mention it, that does smell refreshing.
What?
Anyway, this is our live-in housekeeper, Yayoi.
Hey, what's up?
You wanted to see me?
Mr. Shijima asked me to gather the equipment for the cherry blossom ceremony, but I just can't find some of the items.
All right.
Let's look for them together, shall we?
Time to go on a snoop.
E.g., I will join you later.
Wait, no, I wanted to
Everyone,
snoop.
Please go on ahead to
What's-
the Shijima cherry
What's
tree.
in her kimono?
So, was that your mother, Eiji?
Which one?
Or perhaps your stepmother?
How did you know?
Gasp.
Well,
I fucking guessed. That's how I know. How did you know? I fucking guessed. By connecting mysteries and or clues, you'll create a hypothesis. The hypothesis is the most important part of your reasoning, and it's the key. Did we not tell us this already? Okay. Proof that Yoko is Eiichi's stepmother. She didn't know this, I guess? Yoko asked if Eiji comes up with the crime tricks. She seems to think he's the one who devises the tricks. Yoko is Eiji's stepmother. What evidence is there for this? Is this a thing? I'm glad there was a spare kimono for him. She didn't know it was his. Yep, she didn't know you had your own kimono. That's one. Oh, I can't use both. Okay. Yoko seemed happy that there was a spare kimono for Eiji. If she were his mother, she'd know that he had a kimono. Would she, though? There's a chance Yoko isn't Eiji's birth mother. Is that enough to go on, though? It might have just been a lapse. But not if you add this element also. Yeah, no, I want to add this other one, too. Hey. Hey, let me put it in. That's what I said. There. Seems to be some distance between you two. That's not enough. There was some distance between Yoko and Eiji, shown by the way she spoke to him. chance. Really? That's not what I would have gone with. I would have been just with she has very little interest in his life. That's what I would have gone with. Even your birth mother can have very little interest in your life. Okay, it's probably not enough. And it seems like it wasn't enough. To solve a case, you must select and present a hypothesis. As the basis of your reasoning, a hypothesis must be created first, which it has. There needs to be some distance between you two. She didn't know you had your own kimono. I think it's this one.
It seemed like she didn't know you had your own kimono. A mother would definitely have known, and anyway, she's too young.
I think that's probably the
Very
other reason.
observant,
That didn't come up in our
Also,
reasoning.
You were about to say something earlier, weren't you? Most importantly, my mother gave me this kimono. Is that what you were going to say?
Yoko is my father's second wife. They got married after I left the family.
I see. Well, she seems nice.
Yeah. I guess.
So live-in person
She
is
was in the house
definitely
when
his
the
real mother,
skeleton was
right? That's what
found,
we're going
correct?
with.
I've got to ask her about that later.
Just remember, you're supposed to be writing about the ceremony. I can't imagine what my father would say if he finds out what I've asked you to do.
What? Is he that scary?
Yeah,
Well,
he's literally Heihachi
you'll see when you meet him.
from the Tekken series.
Sure.
Well then, let's go see the cherry tree.
Oh, that was very practiced. It's not the first time he's worn this thing.
Wow. So this is the Shijima cherry tree.
In bloom for the first time in 100 years.
Wait, did they find the skeleton under the tree as well? That's a bit weird. You think that's a real tree? It looks pretty real.
The skeleton was found under this tree, right?
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's very on the nose.
Who killed and buried that sad soul here, I wonder?
Killed?
Killed?
The skeleton's chest bones had marks that suggested a knife wound, apparently.
Plus, they're buried in an unmarked grave.
Shouldn't the police be investigating this?
My father's in a standoff with the police right now. He told them not to say anything until
Well.
the remains were identified.
Too late for that.
But somehow,
It's literally on the
story got
news.
leaked to the media. But the remains are nearly 100 years old, apparently. So the police have no reason to hurry. That's why I want to solve this mystery.
So what you want to know is,
Who the fuck are they?
the identity of the skeleton, right?
The identities of both the skeleton and
Ah,
the
come on. That means I
So
could have
you
picked
do
either.
uncover the truth about this 100-year-old murder. Then what?
It's of great importance to me, actually.
Because
I suspect that skeleton has something to do with the Shijima family's fruit of youth.
You've mentioned that fruit before. What is it?
More precisely,
what is this bullshit?
Tokishiku no kaku no konomi. According to my mother, anyone who consumes this fruit will
The real
stop
mother.
aging forever. It's mentioned in the Kojiki Chronicles. This fruit of youth has been passed down for generations in my family. Although I've never seen it, my father won't tell me anything about
How do you
it.
know it's been passed down? He's never
But
fucking seen it.
somewhere in that house.
Here, I pass it
I'm going
down to
find
you.
it
Your hand is
and
empty.
rewrite the
Correct.
future of medicine.
Slap.
Auntie, you realize it's strange for a
Go back
scientist
to
say
school.
all that, right?
But it isn't strange at all.
It's very
Science
strange.
offers countermeasures to aging.
Really?
No?
The telomeres at the ends of the human chromosome.
Oh, holy shit, here we go.
determines how many times a cell can divide.
Yeah.
They're like game tokens. And aging is what happens when tokens get spent. But some forms of life have an endless supply of these tokens.
Yeah, it's called cancer.
Endless?
Yeah. Cancer cells, for example.
Oh, okay, you actually did say that.
They're able to multiply infinitely because their telomeres constantly repair themselves.
That's
In
why your
effect,
body
they're
never
ageless.
shrugs off cancer, because you can't kill
That's
it.
why it isn't totally bizarre that
It's
a
not that it
fruit
can't kill
might
it, but
contain
it doesn't
components that
weaken
stop
over time?
aging.
A fruit that makes people ageless. And it's called the,
Takino something something something. Wasn't it both of these?
Tokijiku no.
Tokijiku's fine.
What does this Tokijiku have to do with our skeleton?
Well, see,
I found
I'm
an
pretty
account
sure
that
the fruit of
murder
youth
committed
is
100
actually a
years
human
ago,
heart.
and it mentions the Tokijiku. Based on the proximity and dates, that skeleton might just be related to this case.
A murder.
Murder.
I don't know the details, but the Shijima family history is full of unsolved cases.
We're
Unnatural
very,
deaths,
very bad
that sort of thing.
investigators.
Please, Haruka.
Are they
want to
unnatural
know the
deaths because they
Tokijiku's
can't
whereabouts and
die
the truth
naturally?
behind my family's involvement in that skeleton.
Skeleton.
Will you help me?
No. End the game.
He'll owe me one for this. I'd be glad to help. But where should I start?
I have
No,
just
chapter
the
1.
reading material for you.
Reading material?
Study.
And it's right up your...
Didn't think you'd be the first one here.
Long time no see, AG.
You really think you can just waltz back in here?
Okay, this guy's a
interfere with
shithead.
the family's succession?
Yes, I do.
You're Haruka Kagami, aren't you? Author of the Detective Makoto Nishimari series.
You know about it?
Of course. Look, Kazunaga. She created Makoto Nishimari. You know, with the cool catchphrase, the path of logic lines up.
Never heard of it.
Of course you didn't. Dumbass.
This is Haruka
Well,
Kagami,
my kimono
writer,
is much fancier than your
and her
kimono.
editor, Akari Yamase. My older brother, Kazunaga, and my younger brother, Mitsunori.
Nice to meet you. Just wondering, what brings you two here?
So,
Haruka's writing a feature story.
is Kazunaga from the
About
same
this
mother,
skeleton
and the
under
other
the
guy is
cherry
from a
tree.
different mother?
I bet a mystery writer like you can't get enough.
What a jerk. This guy must have 0 friends. I don't need to be nice with him. I should probably be nice with him. But he is a dickhead, so...
I don't need to play nice with him. I'm dying to know more, is the answer you're looking for, yes?
Given your expertise, why don't you try figuring it out yourself? The identity of that skeleton, I mean. Then you can proclaim the path of logic lines up.
Of course I can.
Of course. I'll look into it.
Oh, daddy.
Thank you for having us.
Eiji, long time no see.
Dad, you're looking well.
What are you doing here?
You look terrible in a kimono.
Thanks.
Then it's good that I'll never have to wear one for work.
And not that you look any better in a lab coat, mind you.
The keys to solving a case will be displayed as clues. Obtain clues with Trungle. You can also press up and down during video sequences to check for clues. Okay.
After leaving the family,
Yoink.
what exactly have you been researching?
It's none of your business.
So be it.
Soviet?
Welcome. I am Ryoe Shijima.
There he is.
You must be the best-selling writer.
Indebted to Eiji for all his help. Best-selling is a bit of a stretch. Heard of me? Question mark? No. Let's big up Eiji, because he's being a shit to his son. He's meant to be our friend, too.
Yes. I'm indebted to Eiji for all his help.
So you're interested in our cherry blossom ceremony?
Yes?
This ceremony is an important family tradition, held once every 100 years. Feel free to take part and ask questions, but I ask you not to interfere. We don't usually let outsiders attend, after all.
We understand. Thank you. I promise we won't cause any inconvenience.
So is he like a big
To be honest,
money tycoon guy or
that
something?
skeleton has attracted a lot of unwanted media attention.
Goddamn skeletons.
Such a nuisance. If this story of yours can help clarify matters, we'd be very grateful.
Who's that?
Oh,
Bob?
it's our gardener, Takehiko Kusakari. He's looked after
It's
the
Japanese for
cherry
Bob.
trees for many years.
Excellent work. You should be proud, Kusakari.
It's my
You
pleasure.
really should, man. The tree is amazing.
Then let us begin.
46 years old gardener, looks after Shijime estate grounds and is knowledgeable about the local flora. Okay, I should probably read all of these. Haruka Kagami, 28 years old, mystery writer. Eiji asked her to investigate the Shijima family. Eiji Shijima, 35 years old. Cell cycle researcher, returns to his family home to solve the mystery of the fruit of youth and the skeletal remains. Karayamase, 36 years old, pushed Haruka to make her debut as a writer, responsible for making the Makoto Nishimari series a hit. Yoko Shijima, 50 years old, Ryoei's wife. Ryoei? Ryoei? Ryoei. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm going to go with Ryoei. Damn, hang on. She lights incense every day in memory of Ryoei's previous wife. Yaoi Kazuga, 68 years old, has worked as a live-in housekeeper at the Shijima family estate for 3 years, handling all the housework. Pretty sure it's his mother. Kazunaga Shijima, even though allegedly she's dead. Anyway, 45 years old, medical consultant, eldest of 3 brothers, next in line to become head of the Shijima family, smoker. What's that got to do with anything? Mitsunori Shijima, 25 years old, medical student, youngest of 3 brothers, has personally looked into the many mysteries surrounding his family. When did that come up? Ryoei Shijima, 70 years old, the head of the Shijima family, called on his sons to participate in the family's traditional ceremony, held over every 100 years, and I already read that one. Okay. It's like, oh, this hurts so much. Title card? Yeah. Fancy opening anyway? Very good. Is that a little bit loud? I'll drop it down a bit. I like this music. So I'm wondering how much of the game is watching scenes, how much of it is if there's any exploration. There probably isn't. But I guess we'll find out.
About Ryoei.
There you go,
How much
Ryoei.
does he know about me?
What do you mean?
Well.
Something he said makes me think that...
Ow, 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 ow. Ugh. To review case, press square to go to a screen with the relevant information. Okay, you can just skip straight to it. Something about lab coat, which means he's probably just read that, honestly. Has Ryo heard of Haruka before? He doesn't know I'm a mystery writer, but he does know I'm a best-selling writer? Ryo thought of Haruka as a best-selling writer, but he doesn't seem to know she's a mystery writer. Does it matter? Debatable? I don't think this really has anything to do with anything. Let's put it in anyway, but I don't think it has anything to do with it. Ray told AG he didn't look good in a lab coat. Where would he have seen him in a lab coat in the interview thing? Must have read the interview. And also that part. It's kind of a weird UI, but you know, it kind of works. He read the interview is probably the correct one.
I think whatever he knows about me comes from reading the interview. He said that AG didn't look good in a lab coat. He must have seen the picture of AG in that interview.
Of course he did. I sent it to him in advance, after all.
You did?
And I also told him about you,
God damn it.
Haruka Kagami, a best-selling writer.
You didn't tell him I was a mystery writer?
Again, either of those would have worked.
Well, do you think he'd really let a pop fiction writer come in here to do a story about their centuries-old tradition?
I think he would. By the way, where did everyone go?
Toilet.
They're lighting incense at the altar.
Shouldn't we be there? At least to keep up appearances?
What's the matter?
It's nothing. Just seem to have lost my phone strap.
Think
Maybe
I
look
left.
at the cherry tree. I'll take a look later. Anyway, what do you make of everything so far?
It's very
The
fancy.
cherry blossom ceremony, this estate, the skeleton, and this Tokijiku business. Everything's a mystery. That reminds me, you mentioned some reading material?
Ah, right. This could be our first clue, I think. Eiji found it, by the way.
Shinseinen, the very first magazine to publish Edogawa Rampo.
You sure know your stuff. This issue, published nearly 100 years ago,
What?
contains the first part of a novel. The
Serial
writer's
novel, The
name
Shijima Case Part
is
1.
Yoshino
The one,
Shijima.
The Wandering Mummy?
Shijima? As in one of Eiji's ancestors?
It was
It's time to do some
supposed
time
be a
travel,
serial
kids.
novel, but for some reason, the other parts were never published.
He fucking
And
died,
guess
that's
what?
why.
The Tokijiku appears in the story. This is the 100-year-old murder case that Eiji mentioned.
But it's fiction, right?
It's presented that way. Yes, but what's written here actually happened.
How do you know?
So, it's a true story?
Did you eat the fruit of youth? Have you been along? Have you been
You'll
this
learn
old?
about what
Yeah.
happened
Have
to
you
the
been alive this whole
Tokijiku
time?
in the Taisho era.
Hey Melvin, how's it
All
going?
right, I'll get started.
But there's just one problem.
Huh?
It's in
Some
English,
pages
and I
have
can't read
holes
English.
in them. Some are missing. It's not a complete story, I'm afraid.
Ugh.
You're right. This looks painful to read.
A mystery
It's
book with
full of
missing
big
pages.
expressions, too.
Such as?
But
Example?
in your hands, it just might be solved.
Doubt.
Huh?
I'm incompetent. This has never
How
happened.
about imagining the characters as people you know in real life? For
What?
example, the young protagonist.
Cutting down on
She wants
costs?
to be a writer. That sounds very much like
By
you,
reusing the
doesn't
same actors for different characters?
And what about
never
this
thought of
partner
that.
hers, Josie? Who would this be?
it? Smart, somewhat aloof man. Does anyone come to mind?
Who could it possibly be?
Eiji, I guess.
What's important is how easy it is for your imagination. Focus on that.
What?
Right.
What is this?
And as
You're an
for the other
editor.
characters-
Now she's taking me through some...
You could try imagining
Psychotropic
them as people
shit.
from the Shijima household.
The Shijima household, of course.
My
I'll
god,
give it a shot.
we really are cutting costs here, aren't we?
We first met in the spring of 1922, the 11th year of the Taisho era.
I know it well. Maybe. When was the Taisho era? Okay, 1900s?
Industries languished after the end of the Great War, and disease ravaged the country once more.
Come on, I'm trying to get
Many
away
lives
from the
were lost during those
diseases.
dark days. But that was precisely why we pursued the joys and ambitions of life with even greater zeal.
Stomp. Aggressively sitting down.
Democracy. The human right to liberty and equality.
I think we need to revisit
The
that one.
flowers of
I don't think
modernity
it's not
have
working out
bloomed.
for us.
And they were growing out from the skulls of our dead.
Okay, grim. Chapter 1, The Wandering Mummy.
On that day, somewhere in Tokyo, at the residence of one Ginsaku Goto, a private auction was about to start. I heard rumors that the Tokijiku, the so-called fruit of youth, would be up for sale. And so I was on the lookout for a way in. All
Wait,
for
there's the
sake
front
of
door.
that fruit.
You could try that. I'm sure there's a window open somewhere, maybe?
Setsu.
I'm very much
Look at
looking
that
forward to
tash.
today, Ginsaku.
Look
As
at that
am I,
tash.
dear Setsu. Well, please come in.
Stop being so flirty with my wife.
Setsu.
Oh my. He's being way too flirty.
Not here.
Of course he is, with that mustache. What would you expect? Ugh.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that hat does not
Can I
go
have
with
that
your
back,
outfit,
please?
Chief.
Sorry. Excuse me.
You need a darker hat or a
It's pig's blood, isn't it?
bigger hat?
What's it for? That's an awfully fancy bottle for pig's blood.
Oh, should it be in a shitty bottle?
We had pigs back home, you see. I remember it well, since my darling pigs kept getting turned into food.
That's their
You
The
can tell from just
destiny?
one look.
Well,
How could you tell just from looking at it?
It's a very precious item.
For you see, it is my pig's blood. Is this person going to the private auction? If so, maybe I can tag along. Why do they give me two choices if they're both going to... I find this is kind of a... It kind of happens a lot in Japanese adventure games where they do give you two choices, but it almost always goes in the same direction.
is this person going to the private auction? What are you going to sell it as, huh? A panacea? Or dragon's blood, perhaps?
Who are you?
Snake oil? Wait, who am I again? Who am I pretending to be in this
Amiya
flashback?
Shijima.
Well, it's
You're
too late,
taking
man.
part
I've
in
seen
that
your
private
face.
auction, aren't you? I'd like to attend as well. But I heard that every participant has to bring some item related to eternal youth or immortality. She seems to be an exception, though.
Who?
The woman
You're
who
one,
took inside.
you're one getting felt up.
I'm pretty sure she has a special relationship with the organizer.
And she keeps
I
him
guess
feeling
people
young.
like
What do you
her are
want?
Welcome too.
Why
Does
do
that
you
not
think
work?
that?
They touched each other discreetly, so the man beside them wouldn't notice.
They weren't being
seemed
very
used to
discreet.
that. Wait! Don't go. You don't want me telling everyone that it's just pig's blood, do you?
What do you want from me?
You're right. I should kill you here instead.
Call me your companion or whatever. Just take me inside with you. Please!
Okay, you are my house servant.
Your reasoning is flawed. That woman is a legitimate participant.
Hey, wait!
My reasoning can't be flawed. I'm the only character who can actually do the reasoning thing.
Are you coming?
You let me in.
You've got a keen eye. It might come in handy.
Thank you.
Oh, welcome.
Mustache
My
man?
name's Josui
Ah, he's
Kusaka.
back.
I heard about the auction from Setsu.
You knew she was? That's not fair.
Yes, she mentioned you. Josui, yes?
He just said his name.
Setsu's already inside. And this is?
My house servant.
She's my traveling companion. Please don't mind her.
I see. Well, then come in. Have some tea while we wait for the auction to start.
Oh no. Death crows. What?
Something wrong?
No, I was just admiring your fabulous mustache. Probably not best to insult the guy.
It's nothing.
Oh. Once again, that probably would have led to the same outcome. Anyway.
I had infiltrated the auction with some unexpected assistance. Now I needed an opportunity to seize the Tokijiku. Let's do this. This is going to turn into a romance plot with Eiji, isn't it?
You mean Josui, right? Not Eiji. You're just borrowing faces and voices, remember?
Right? Because it's cheap. I got it. I remember.
That's right. Back to the story.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. I'm the head of this estate.
Ginsaku
Goto.
mustache. I mean,
The auction will
Goto.
begin at noon, about an hour from now. Please make yourselves at home until then.
Alright. I get into my sweatpants and...
Nice to meet you, everyone. My name is Kinu Kotomiya, and I deal in antiques. As you
Alright.
must have heard from Ginsaku, all of today's items have some relation to eternal.
Hang on. When he said make yourselves at home,
The
he didn't
items
say
we've
I'd be
brought
given
will
like
be
a...
put on display, and
like
you'll
a
look for
timeshare
items that catch your
lecture?
fancy. It's time to show us how skilled you are at buying low and selling high. I hope we have an exhilarating auction.
Wow.
I know.
Completely
anything to do with
mute
eternal
clapping. How
youth
did
is
he do
probably
that?
A scam, but I just love the idea of it. The romance.
What did everyone bring? Oh, I can't wait.
I hear you're a collector of strange and bizarre tales, Setsu.
Yes, that's why my curiosity is so easily piqued. What have you brought?
Pig's blood. The blood of a prized pig.
Dragon's blood. Oh. Long sought after by
Okay,
those in power.
he really is
its
going to call it
ability to
dragon's
grant
blood.
eternal youth is celebrated in legends throughout the world.
Oh, well, dragon's blood.
What kind of
That's
dragon?
of immense value if it were real.
A shame it's pig's blood.
Well, my item was once kept in a certain Hachiman
sick.
shrine and venerated as a relic.
Sword.
Legend
Come on.
says it's the sword of Taira no Masakato.
Oh, yeah.
Lord Masakato?
Indeed. Lord Masakato was beheaded, and some accounts say his head never rotted. One could say that his sword is connected to agelessness, too.
One could say,
Let
but
me
we
hold
won't.
it.
Be careful.
Cut your own head off.
Whose blood
Hang on.
does it thirst for today?
Was
I
he
wonder?
beheaded by his own sword? That's a bit mean.
And as for my item,
Do the cool thing. Do the cool thing when you put it back
are
in.
you familiar with the legend of the
Ah, he's
Tokijiku
doing it.
Kaku no Konomi?
It's what Tajimomori found in the mythical land across the seas, isn't it?
I see you've done your research.
It's my job, after all.
Masanori is a medical researcher who also works for the Army Institute of Scientific Research.
I'm investigating ways
course.
to make soldiers stronger, and that includes the topic of agelessness.
Our soldiers
Apparently,
also need to be
a
pretty.
certain family has been watching over the fruit of youth for generations.
Well, that's news to me.
But then this family fell into ruin, and all the Tokijiku were lost. Although, I somehow
That's her family.
managed to get my hands on one. Look.
Word, this is...
Delicious.
It was indeed a Tokijiku, the very same one I'd been trying to find. No, to reclaim.
Everything I've heard. So I thought maybe, just maybe, this could be the real deal.
For those of you just joining
you're
us,
all
a
experts at this,
Tokijiku
aren't you?
allegedly grants you
Now,
eternal youth
we
if
can't
you
leave
eat it.
your valuable items lying around like this. We'll store them in a locked room until the auction starts. This way, please.
So we got 3 items. We've got Fruity Youth, Cool Sword, Pig's Blood.
That leads to the basement.
Thanks. I didn't
Hold on a second.
need to know that. Ugh.
You're after the Tokijiku, aren't you?
Maybe. What's it to you?
Why do you think that?
If you won't be honest with me, you can go back outside.
I didn't lie. I just asked you a question.
I'm sorry. My companion wandered off.
As they always do. This way, please.
What? I wonder what they're translating
Don't think you're off the hook.
companion to. Or from, rather.
Are
What?
you sure it's safe to put everything in here?
No, not
This
at all.
door will be locked from the outside, and I'll guard this with the utmost care, so there's nothing to worry about.
In my voluminous
What is this?
sleeves.
Oh, don't touch that.
That
That's
is
my
the
item
self-destruct
for the auction.
button.
It's
So
quite
tell us,
large.
tell us what it is.
Indeed. Let's have a look, shall we? Just
I didn't mean your
peek,
dick,
though.
Mr. Mustache.
One careless move, and we'll all be cursed.
Must be a mummy, presumably. Yeah, there it is. Perhaps the wandering mummy. The one we saw in the window?
Mummy. You've all heard stories about how consuming a mummy grants longevity, I suppose.
No.
But
No, Mustache Man.
this is no ordinary mummy. This here is a living corpse. Some claim it wanders the night in search of human blood.
Well, that's okay. I don't quite
Whether
classify
this
as human
form
just
of
yet.
eternal life brings happiness is another question altogether, of course.
Let's return to
Should
the
we
map.
perhaps lock
There's still time before the auction
the crate
begins at noon.
with a wandering mummy
Some
in
light
it?
refreshments in the lounge, perhaps.
Yes.
No, heavy refreshments. Give me the densest burger you have. I want to be weighed down with the meat of this burger. It's a big lock.
What'll it be? Speak or leave now.
Well, if you leave now, it's the end of the game, so...
I'm going to reclaim the Tokijiku. It belongs to my family, after all.
Your family?
Yes, my family situation is somewhat complicated. My father entrusted me with the Tokijiku when he told me to leave our house. But I didn't know where to go.
Your father kicked you out and gave you this gross fruit.
Then I came down with a fever and fell asleep in some temple. And when I awoke,
The Tokijiku was gone.
yes, I searched everywhere to no avail. That's when I heard about this auction from an antiques dealer.
This couldn't have happened very long ago,
I
then.
knew it'd be here. But there was no way I could scrounge up what I needed to get inside. That fruit is very precious to me. I have to get it back, no matter what.
Okay. I'm just here to sell the
It
pig's blood.
seems You and I have the same goal.
What? Why do you want the fruit?
What?
I'm also here to steal the Tokijiku. I
There you
never
go.
intended to take part in the auction. What do you say to working together?
We can't split it, though.
We'll join forces to get the Tokijiku.
Then. I mean, we can't really... I mean, we could use the help, but we can't exactly trust him either. Sure. It's fine. We'll double-cross him later.
I could use the help. But I can't let it fall into your...
We'll discuss that later. any case, you still seem to be in bad shape.
What? But I go to the gym 3
It's
times a
fine
week.
if you want to make an enemy of me. But then, I'll tell everyone the truth about you.
Yeah, well, I'll tell everyone it's pig's blood. What about that?
But
No means no, Setsu.
Why?
Gensaku,
I have a reputation to uphold.
But it's a brilliant idea, isn't it?
I won't allow it. You are not getting this key.
Don't worry. No one will suspect a thing.
Well, they
I'll
will
just
now.
tamper with their items a bit, you know? Make it look like mice got into the room. Then, our items will go for higher prices. And we can get theirs for cheap.
I've already told you no. My dear Setsu, don't you realize how crass you sound right now?
Oh! My mustache!
You have to understand, Kitsaku. I told so many people about this auction and gathered all these items here.
She's stealing the key
All
right now,
because
Chief.
I want you to live even just a little bit longer.
We must keep your mustache
You'll give me
vital.
the key, won't you?
It's too late. She's already taken it. No! I thought it was in his sleeve. I completely
can
blanked that it was
know.
on the desk.
That you got the key from me.
How else are they gonna know?
Return it when you're done.
You're meant to be keeping it.
What's wrong?
Ugh. I'm dying.
You're burning up.
I'm fine. It's just hot outside.
you must get the Tokijiku.
These kimonos are, quite stifling. Could you be any lazier about this?
Not again.
Yes,
How
again.
long was I out for?
25
About
days.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
20 minutes. Then it's almost noon. The auction will start without us.
It can wait. How are you feeling?
Is it only
I'm
us at the
fine.
auction? Only
We've
the
got to
5
find the
people?
Tokijiku.
6?
So will it be? I think it's best for us to work together.
I thought we said we were working together. Again?
Fine. The Tokijiku is mine, though.
If you say so. You've got grit, I like that.
Okay, thanks. Mustache Aficionados Monthly?
Setsu hasn't returned yet from inside the storeroom.
And she's alone in there. Now's our chance to get the fruit.
Let's go. Can you walk?
Can he not hear
Yes.
them? They could hear from that room. Can he not hear from outside? So, Setsu's been killed by the mummy? Bets? And then we're gonna get blamed for breaking in? Huh.
The door's locked.
We missed the perfect opportunity. I'm sorry.
But
If only I hadn't passed out.
she would have passed us on the way back. There's only one way in.
Who's there? Ah, it's you two. Everyone's looking for you.
What are you doing down here?
What were you doing here?
Well,
Sex.
Just what are you up to?
We'll be honest with you. We saw Setsu ask Ginsaku to give her the key to this room. I thought she might do something to the auction items. So we came to take a look.
Okay, wow, he
Setsu
really
has
is
the
just
key.
going with the
Are you
truth.
sure?
Yes. But she doesn't seem to be here anymore. She must have gone back to the manor.
Actually, she's not there either.
Gasp.
Not even in Ginsaku's room.
Indeed. The auction is going to start any minute now.
Kitsaku's
Are you
beside
sure she's still
himself
not in
and
there?
his mustache. No, it's fucking locked.
The The door's locked.
Yes, correct.
Setsu! Setsu! Are you in there?
If you're in there, say nothing. Blood.
Setsu!
This is.
It's blood.
Wait, is this blood?
Someone at the end of the corridor? Someone locked in the storeroom?
Is someone at the end of the corridor?
It's blood. But is it, Josui's pig's blood? Or is it human blood? Do you guys really need to have your lanterns that low? Surely only one of you needs to do this. Dun, dun, dun. The mummy has a sword. Run! He has a sword. He's killed once, he'll kill again.
It's alive! It's alive!
It's alive!
He moved! He moved! He moved!
So, Setsu dressed up as the mummy?
What's going on?
The mummy! The mummy's alive! That masked mummy, the one Ginsaku brought.
It was holding a sword covered in blood.
How absurd. Are you sure you aren't imagining things?
Yes, all three of us imagined
I
the
saw
same
it with
thing.
my own eyes. There were red stains
It's one of those
around the
mass
storeroom
hallucinations
door,
or
and
something.
they were all along the corridor. And
Hallucinations,
there it
even.
was.
Kinu, have you been here the whole time since the items went in the storeroom?
No, I've just been wandering about the manor. Ginsaku and Masanori also went about their business, I'm sure.
So everyone was in separate places.
Where did Setsu go?
Ginsaku.
She has to wax my mustache for me.
Oh, Setsu's missing. I've been looking for her the whole time.
Yeah, she's the mummy. Come on. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. She's being the mummy so that she
Perhaps
can...
She was killed by the mummy.
That's
Perhaps
also an
she
option, I
touched
suppose.
something she wasn't supposed to, and
She's driving up the price of the
this is her
mummy.
punishment.
Ginsaku. You gave Setsu the key to the storeroom, didn't you?
I don't know what
We
you're...
actually saw you hand over the key to her. She was going to damage the other items to reduce their value, isn't that right?
I told her... I was against it.
Wow, Mr. Mustache.
Setsu-
Is there a duplicate key?
No. That was the only key.
All
The
right.
door to the storeroom was locked just now. We saw the mummy outside the room, which means...
I see. That mummy must have taken the key from Setsu and then locked the door.
Yes.
Wait a minute. What's all this about?
The mummy is
Your
Setsu.
mummy, Ginsaku, might be a real living corpse after all.
What? By my mustache. First we have to find Setsu. We should take a close look at the mummy. You know, I kind of feel like they're the same thing. Kind of feel like she's dressed up as the mummy.
In any case,
Which is pretty gross.
first, we
Means
have to
there's
find
a-
Setsu.
There's a nude mummy in that storeroom somewhere.
Masanori, you'll go.
I will not.
Me?
You're in the army, aren't you? You're probably the only man
Research.
here who could win a fight.
I'm in the research part of the army. I'm not an actual soldier.
We're counting on you.
Fine.
God damn it. I'm a fucking nerd. What do you want me to do? Many years later. I really feel like at least one other person should have gone with him, but okay. How long does it take? Hey, what's up?
Well,
I got scared. I didn't go the whole way.
I searched every inch of the manor, but
about the storeroom?
I looked around it, but couldn't get inside. The door is still locked after all.
Get a bolt cutters. Come on, he must have one somewhere. The other storeroom was locked. Let's go and check the storeroom. We should definitely take a look. I'm not going near the mummy. How do we get in, though? Come on, we can force the lock. How big is it?
Well, let's go and check the storeroom together.
Good idea. Let's bring something to break the lock with.
Why didn't we do this in the beginning? What did we bring? Mr. Mustache? And his mustache?
I have a bad feeling about this.
Don't say that. You'll just be proven right. Oh, that was easy. Oh no! Oh no!
Setsu!
She did? I still think she's the mummy.
It's terrible.
No!
The Tokichiku, it's gone.
I know. I stole it while you were passed out.
The mummy.
I did all of this while you were passed out. Is he still there?
There it is.
It's not
Just
awake
a
anymore.
dried-up old mummy. But then, what did we see earlier?
You saw Setsu.
We have to inform the police.
Wait. An investigation will be bad for both of us. Who knows what we'll be accused of?
You think we should run away?
If we run now, everyone will think we did it.
We gotta wait for one other person to run away first. Then it's okay for us to run away.
We'll have to inform the police eventually.
But then we'll be suspects.
That's why we'll figure it out first. Before the police get here. We'll find the killer and prove it with hard evidence.
Hard evidence, of course.
Yes, of course.
What happened today?
Hard.
Who did what and where?
evidence.
We have to recall every last detail. There must be a clue somewhere.
Many clues. I've been collecting them.
And when we find the killer, I'm sure we'll find the Tokijiku too.
But I found the killer. I'm looking right at him. Jacques. End of chapter 1 or Mind Palace? Mind Palace? Or end of the demo? Ow.
The victim is Setsu,
Mind Palace.
a collector of strange tales. Her body was found in a locked storeroom in the basement with her throat slit.
Good trick.
The murder weapon was probably the blood-stained sword in the mummy's hand.
We caught sight of the mummy around the time of the murder. Aside from the sword, the mummy was also holding
His kimono is kind of keying out. This is why I don't wear black on the green screen, because it doesn't go well with green
We
screens.
have what appears to be a killer mummy. What could be the truth behind this case?
These are all very good questions. Wow, look at all them clues. Okay. Clues that were missed during the incident phase will be automatically obtained in the reasoning phase. When the icon is in the middle of the left side. When the icon in the middle of the left side lights up, hold down L2 for a flash of insight. Using it will consume 1 charge and highlight the clue that is linked to the display mystery. Oh, if you're stumped, it'll just give you the one you want. There's a limit to insight charges, but you'll recover 1 charge per 6 hypotheses created. Okay. What was that mummy? Pretty sure it's Setsu. Oh, that's a lot of clues. Okay. Okay. It's not that. The mummy was seen in the basement corridor of Ginsaku Goto's estate. Who could it have been? Minami? Nah, maybe? Because he wasn't there either. No, it can't be him. He was there with us. Alright, so it can't be him. Potentially it could be her. He was reading Mustache Aficionados Monthly, so it's probably not him. Itaku's auction item, Star Body's Rotten Claw. Okay, it's not that. How come we don't have her name? Okay, I think we're getting that it can't be her because she's dead. Is the thing. Even though, well, I suppose maybe it isn't her. Anyway. When we see in the basement corridor against Hakugoto's, who could it have been? Okay. It could potentially be her. Or not. Okay. Guess it's not potentially her. It can't be him because he was with us. Also, no. Unless this is the tutorial and I have to do the insight thing. This didn't help. This didn't give me anything. Oh, it's just literally all the stuff about the mummy, not an actual person is what they're going for. Okay. Ginsaku called the mummy a living corpse. Mummy was alive, maybe. Debatable. Still think somebody dressed up as the mummy. According to Ginsaku, the mummy is still alive. What we saw in the basement was a real living mummy. Must have wandered around after crawling out of the crate. How did it get out of the crate? This is why I told you to lock the crate. Nobody listens to me. Okay, hang on, there's more stuff here. We have these highlighted, so I'm just gonna go with it. The one we've seen at the basement corridor was wearing a mask and covered in bandages and old rags. The one we abandoned at the end of the corridor, it was wearing the same mask that it had in the wooden crate. Someone was disguised as the mummy. That's what I'm going with. The mummy wore a mask and was covered in bandages. God, it would take them fucking ages to put those bandages on, though. Its face and body are covered, so it's an easy disguise. The moving mummy we saw must have been someone in disguise. Maybe? Thing is, we are reading like a... what's effectively a comic book? Okay, so I assume this is done then. So we can move on to this one. Was someone disguised as the mummy? If someone must have disguised himself as that mummy, who would do such a thing? Okay, that's not one. Nope. This one? No. I think I'm misunderstanding what's needed here. don't think it's him. He was with us when the mummy was there, so it can't be him. Mazanori was disguised as the mummy. No. Is that really Mazanori with us when we saw the mummy? Wow, okay. There's a chance he had a body double as an accomplice. I didn't go that far. Alright, interesting. To switch places while looking for Setsu. Potentially. Interesting. He was gone from us for like 10 minutes. Ugh. Not all hypotheses is correct. Alright, that's... yeah, fine. Unlikely it's that one. Some will confound your reasoning, compare the various hypotheses to ascertain the truth of the case. Come here. Kinu was disguised as the mummy. Now, this potentially, because she said she was just wandering the house, so no one really knows where she was. After seeing the mummy, we hurried to the entrance hall. Okay, that... yeah, that's an issue. Did she then dress up the mummy again? Kinu might have quickly taken off the mummy disguise and legged it, and then dressed up the mummy again and used the secret path to return directly to the lounge. No, this seems a bit too much. Perhaps Kinu was the mummy? No. I'm still going with Setsu, to be honest. But I think somewhere in the between the 10-minute gap, it might be that Masanori and Setsu were accomplices, because they did arrive together. So I think it makes sense. Kinsaku is disguised as the mummy. Again, don't think so. He was busy reading Mustache Aficionados. After seeing the mummy, we hurried to the entrance hall. Kinsaku was late and could have taken off the mummy disguise. Kinsaku must have been the mummy. No. How do I get her in? It's gotta be one of us. Is that what it's going with? No one at the entrance hall was the mummy. After seeing the mummy, we hurried to the entrance hall. Everyone appeared soon after. No one there would have had the time to take off the disguise. And as such, no one at the entrance hall could have been the mummy. Well, yeah, it's because Setsu's not there. I'm inclined to believe that one, to be honest. Why would someone don a mummy disguise? No. Why would they do it, is the question. This seems unlikely, but okay. It is not. What is the question? Perhaps that mummy was someone in disguise. Why would anyone pretend to be a mummy? I'm still going with my idea that it's Setsu. I want to do the symbols match. I wonder if that's something we should be looking out for. I think they do match a little bit, actually. Someone made it look like the mummy was alive. If the mummy we saw in the basement was a disguise, there must have been a purpose to it. Someone wanted us to think the mummy was alive. Yes. Agree. And what's the other option? The mummy's literally alive. Someone made the mummy look like the killer. If the mummy we saw in the basement was a disguise, there must have been a purpose to it. Someone wanted us to think the mummy killed Setsu. Possibly. Makes sense. We're looking for something that has like a semicircle on the bottom of it. Semicircle in the top right, I think. If they do indeed match, then it's this one. Alright, I may have figured out the system. Someone wanted to shock everyone with the mummy, so they wouldn't think straight. When Gonzaku revealed his mummy in the basement storeroom, everyone was shocked. Noticing this, someone put on the disguise as a prank. As a prank? I don't think so. What was used for the disguise? Perhaps the mummy was someone in disguise. They would have needed some items to pull it off. They would have needed the key for a start, but anyway. Bandages and rags. Mummy's bandages were not needed? They just made their own? Mummy's bandages were not needed. The wooden crate the mummy was in was filled with rags. Someone used those rags to create a mummy disguise. They didn't need to undo the bandages from the actual mummy. Okay, I must have missed that. Okay, we're getting all sorts of new shit out of this. Alright. Needed the sword. I think they needed the key. Can't see where there's one that looks like a teardrop, so there should be a teardrop on the top left. Something that looks like a teardrop. There it is. Tokijiku wasn't used in the disguise. Then why is it gone? The mummy disguise didn't require the Tokijiku. So why is it gone? But it was missing when we entered the storeroom again. There must be some other reason for the Tokijiku. There must be some other reason the Tokijiku disappeared. There'd be no reason for Setsu to steal it because she literally brought it. Okay, there's still one left on this. It's like a boomerang, kinda. For a boomerang looking thing on the bottom. Okay, looking at it now, it doesn't look like a boomerang, but that's the symbol I was going for. The bloodstained sword was to instill fear. Fear. Sploosh. The red liquid on the sword must have been dragon's blood, or the pig's blood. The person disguised as the mummy used it as a diversion. Why did you do that for? If you did that, all the blood would come off. They wanted us to think the mummy had just killed someone. And they had. Kinda. Okay. What did the killer use in the murder? Sword. Right? Does this count? Okay, I guess technically it wasn't used in the murder exactly. Does this count? It does. Setsu was suffocated in the wooden crate. No, that's not what happened. The mummy was one of the auction items. The wooden crate it was in was big enough for a person. The killer must have shut Setsu in the crate, suffocating her. It's not airtight. It wouldn't have. She wouldn't have suffocated. No, that one's bullshit. Killer made Setsu drink dragon's blood? No, we know it's pig's blood, so that's not a problem. I mean, I can't imagine it'd be good for you, but I don't think it would kill you. Dragon's blood was one of the auction items. Killer must have made Setsu drink it. Chug, glug, glug, glug. Come on, drink up. Drink your medicine. They wanted to test whether or not it was real. No. Plus, if they tested it by having her drink all of it, then what's the point? Dragon's blood was used to make bloodstains. That's a bit more believable. The killer must have splattered it in the basement corridor. They wanted to make it look like bloodstains. I believe that one first. If it was used at all, of course. Setsu was killed with the sword of Masakado, potentially. We haven't seen the wound, so it's hard to know. Taira no Masakado's sword was one of the auction items. Sick. Setsu had a cut wound on her. Oh, did she? Okay. Don't remember that part, but alright. Setsu had a cut wound on her neck. Killer must have used the sword to kill her. Potentially. It's pretty metal as well, if he did. Okay. Still have some more stuff here. Alright, so we're looking for this symbol. It's a triangle inside other triangles. On the top left. It's also potential that we don't have it. You know, we might have missed it. Sure, this is. Setsu was killed by the curse of the mummy. No, Setsu was killed by Mazanori, is what I'm going with now. Setsu was dressed up as the mummy when we saw them first. Hey, not your Blizzard Feather? Oh, I'm being raided. Hey, what's up, Dushank? The mummy's one of the auction items. If it is truly cursed, as Mazanori feared, the killer could have made Setsu touch it, cursing her. No, I don't think this one's true. Hey, Hazamat. Hey, Demonic, how's it going? Or Deformonk? Deformonk. We'll go with that. Alright, we still have one left. So it's like a X on the top right. This one. Spirit Detective? Kinda. It's the Centennial case. So this is a full motion video thing. And right now, someone has died in the middle of an auction for items that are allegedly meant to provide everlasting life. But it's set in the 1900s, so I don't know why people are still believing this, but okay. The Tokijiku was one of the auction items. Eat shit. The box in it was big enough to be used as a blunt weapon. No. Plus there's a cut mark on her neck. There's no blunt force trauma anywhere. The killer must have hit Setsu with the box and killed her. Nah, that one's not true. So our series of events are... We're at an auction for a bunch of mysterious items. We have the sword of someone who was beheaded and allegedly the head didn't rot afterwards. We have this mysterious fruit that is supposed to, if you eat it, grants you eternal life. We have this mummy that allegedly is undead, gets up, walks around at night. And we have a vial of dragon's blood, but we know already that it is actually pig's blood. It's not real. During the auction time, somebody stole the key, or was given the key, went in to mess around with the items to sort of break them and make them worth less money, so that their item would get more money at the auction and they could buy theirs for cheaper. But in between that, somehow the storeroom got locked. The person who we thought had the key was nowhere to be found, and we found the mummy up and about, brandishing the sword with blood all over it. It's the rare dragon pig, exactly. Pig dragon. Yeah, so we either have supernatural mummy killed somebody, probably not, or somebody was dressed as the mummy, made it look like it was a supernatural killing, and is trying to get away with it. So that's kind of what we're trying to figure out. Okay. What was the purpose of the mummy? Okay. What's the point of the mummy, really? No. There's stuff about this one. The mummy wanted to make others immortal. No, I don't think so. The hypothesis I have at the moment is the person who went in to tamper with the items has an accomplice who is one of our members of our group. The person in the storeroom was dressed up as the mummy the first time we saw them, had us all run away in fear. Then we sent the accomplice back, not knowing they were the accomplice. We sent them back to go like, hey, check on the rest of the house, make sure, see if we can find the missing person. So they were gone for like 10 minutes. And my idea is, within the intervening 10 minutes, he killed her, put her back in the storeroom, locked it, made it all look like the mummy did it, and so on, and is trying to get away with it. But that's what I'm going with. An old legend says that eating mummy flesh grants long life. Citation needed. Perhaps the mummy wanted immortal companions. That's why he killed them? Was wandering around trying to make someone eat its flesh. Get over here and eat me. He's trying to make them eat one particular part of its flesh, I think. The mummy was searching for blood. Kinsaku said the mummy wanders the night searching for blood. Just as he said, the mummy must have caught the scent of blood. Doubt. Somehow. And was prowling the corridor in search of it. No. I'm still going with it's not actually a mummy, someone's just dressed up as the mummy. The mummy wanted the fruit of youth. Okay, the whole mummy thing, I think, is a waste of time, but okay. Setsu said a certain family watches over the fruit of youth. If the mummy was a member of that family, it may have killed Setsu to get the Tokijuku back. No. They're not. We know they're not. Okay. Alright. Where was Setsu killed? Well, it would have us believe she was killed in the storeroom. Perhaps she was killed elsewhere. Setsu was killed in the basement corridor. No? I mean, there is blood all over the corridor, but there's not enough. Blood was spattered along the basement corridor. Spattered, not splattered. Spattered. Is there more to this? Killer must have slain Setsu in the corridor and fled. But the blood stopped at the storeroom door. If that was the case, it would have continued up the corridor, which it didn't. That means Setsu was killed at the end of the corridor. No, she was killed in the storeroom. Pretty sure. There's a lot of blood there. More than what was in the vial as well, so it's not like they could have used that. Setsu was killed in the storeroom. There was a pool of blood in the storeroom. If Setsu was killed elsewhere, blood would be there instead. Just what I said. Thus, Setsu must have been killed in the storeroom. Okay. There's too much blood there for it to not be where she died. No, we got more stuff. Even more stuff. Okay, have I solved everything up until this point? Okay. What are we looking for? Ginsaku had the key. Is he the killer? Okay. I don't think so. Personally. Because he gave her the key for the first point. Else he said that there is no spare. Ginsaku wouldn't have given the mummy the key. No, he wouldn't have. Ginsaku gave Setsu the key and told her to return it. But the mummy in the corridor was holding the storeroom key. This would place suspicion squarely on Ginsaku. So he would not do that. If Ginsaku was the killer, he would have taken the key. Ginsaku left the key there on purpose. Because why would I have not taken the key if I was the killer? Come on. Ginsaku gets Setsu the key to the storeroom in secret. After that, the mummy was seen with the key. These little CG animations are hilarious. If Ginsaku explained that the key ended up with the killer, he could divert suspicion, which is why he left it at the scene. No, I don't think it's Mr. Mustache. No, I'm not ready to finish yet. Perhaps the case can be solved with the hypothesis created so far. Who's the murderer? What trick was used? Proceed to the solution phase if you have the answers. Don't think so. What happened in the storeroom? Killer was trying to hide evidence. I think there was just a struggle, honestly. When we entered the storeroom, it was already a mess. After killing Setsu, the killer left evidence in the storeroom. They must have ransacked the room to hide that evidence. No, I think they just fought, and in the struggle, the storeroom just got messed up. The killer and Setsu got into a scuffle. Yeah, this is what I think happened. When we entered the storeroom, it was already a mess. When the killer attacked Setsu, she must have resisted. Perhaps they had a scuffle in the storeroom. Setsu tampered with items in the storeroom. That still potentially did happen. You know, She could still have tampered with them. Setsu got the key to the storeroom from Ginsaku. She entered the room and ransacked it for some purpose. That's when she was attacked by the killer. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's the scuffling. I mean, both can be true. Ah, there's more. And even more. Okay, these must be the last ones. What was Setsu planning? Okay. Setsu wanted to eat the Tokijiku and be ageless. I mean, she brought it to the auction. She could have done this at any time. Tokijiku was missing when Setsu's body was found. She couldn't bear to part with her own auction item, so she ate it and then died. And then blood everywhere? What was the whole mummy business then? Ate the Tokijiku thinking it would make her ageless. No. She wanted to hide the Tokijiku, potentially. It is missing, after all. The Tokijiku was missing when Setsu's body was found. She couldn't bear to part with her own auction items, so she hid the Tokijiku, making it look like it had disappeared. Why wouldn't you just take the box? Seems unnecessary. She wanted to stop the private auction. I don't think she wanted to stop it exactly. When Setsu's body was found, the items were already vandalized. Before her death, perhaps she tampered with them in order to stop the private auction. Setsu wanted to steal the auction items. Well, she did a really bad job of it. When Setsu's body was found, the items were already vandalized. Perhaps she was trying to steal them. Could she have tampered with the items to hide that fact? Why would she, the only item that's actually missing is the one she brought to the auction. The other ones are accounted for, or well, the vial has been emptied and is worthless anyway. Why did Ginsaku give Setsu the key? Because he was dipping his wick. Ginsaku couldn't stand up to Setsu. She made fun of his mustache. Setsu slapped Ginsaku. The two certainly seemed to have a special relationship. Ginsaku was afraid of her, which is why he gave up the key. No. I don't think it was fear. It was this one. Loved is also debatable. I think he was just really wanted to keep the Friends with Benefits thing going. Ginsaku and Setsu had a special relationship. Ginsaku giving Setsu the key to the storeroom is proof of this. He loved her and couldn't refuse her request for the key. Okay. Pretty sure that's it. Are there any empty hexagons? I don't see any. Alright, time to finish this. The truth is... the truth is clear. Okay. And we gotta figure out what the hell it is. Why so bright?
Well then, let's go through our reasoning. What do you find most unusual about this case?
Don't look directly at the camera, man. It's weird. What's intriguing is... none of these? Others? What's others? All the mysteries, which do you find most unusual? Ginsu had the key. Is he the killer? No. What was Setsu planning? Why did... no. Can I go back? Fuck. What hypothesis can you form from the mystery? Setsu wanted to stop the private auction. Setsu wanted to steal the auction items. Setsu wanted to eat the Tokujuku and be ages. Setsu wanted to hide the Tokujuku. Setsu wanted to stop the private auction. I see. Setsu persuaded Ginsuku to give her the key. Setsu spoke about tampering with the other auction items to raise the value of her own, but was that her true intention? If you try and reason what Setsu's true intentions were, is that wrong? I agree that's important, but isn't there anything else that struck you as odd? Yeah, plenty. Alright, cool. We can go back to this. All the mysteries which you find most unusual. Was someone disguised as the mummy? Why would someone don a mummy disguise? What was used for the disguise? What was the purpose of the mummy? Was someone disguised as the mummy? No one at... Yeah, agreed. No one at the entrance hall was the mummy. Can't possibly accept that the mummy's still alive. The mummy we saw moving in the basement corridor must have been someone in disguise, whatever their objective may be. The fact that someone used a mummy disguise is crucial to this case. Great reasoning. Are there any other thoughts you'd like to get in order? I don't... Oh, what? Fuck. I don't understand. Close your eyes. Ah, it's bright.
Well then.
Oh, he's gonna look directly at us again.
What do you find most unusual about this case?
Is this really important? Auction items in the storeroom have been tampered with. Someone did it on purpose, or there's some other explanation. Either way, we need to consider why the storeroom was ransacked. Agree that's important, but is there anything else? Okay, so he's not happy with that one. Alright, let's go with the mummy one that we did, because he seemed to think that was good. So let's go with that. Okay, we can't possibly say let's like get in order. Previous reasoning just takes us back to the whole list. Redo summary. It seems we can only pick one thing out of all of these.
Have you got your thoughts in order?
Yes. The answer must be somewhere within our hypothesis thus far.
Okay, we've left. God damn, why so bright? Alright, we're leaving the Mind Palace. Why? What is with your entire screen of white? It's so painful.
Excuse me, everyone.
Yes. The auction will be cancelled, of course. Once the police get here, they'll ask many questions and...
No one will want to learn about my mustache.
You to leave.
Please, let me speak for a moment.
What? No, you're some kind of
This is
house
going to
servant.
be about Setsu's murder.
Murder.
One of us here is the killer, perhaps.
Yeah, it's the young guy.
What?
And not the guy standing up.
I'll explain what I've figured out so far. First,
Wait a minute.
No.
Are we to let you play detective?
Yes.
I will not stand to be called a criminal based on some amateur's haphazard guesses.
What's up, mustache?
The killer's among us, you say? There'll be real consequences if you're wrong.
Such as?
But if you're willing to take that risk...
Calm down, mustache.
So be it. Let's hear you out.
He changed chairs.
Thank you.
Got up, made a threatening pose, and sat down
First,
again.
About the mummy we saw. Right before the auction was to start at noon, Josie and I went to the storeroom. Masanori was there too. That was when we saw the mummy, wielding a blood-stained sword. Or so we thought at the time in our panic. But after some calm reflection, I think it's more likely that
Mummy was alive? No, someone was disguised as the mummy. Okay.
it must have been someone in disguise.
A disguise, huh? That makes sense.
Aw. You're the guy who brought the living mummy into the house, Chief. You can't...
After murdering Setsu, the killer dressed up as the mummy and appeared in front of us.
In that case, whoever wasn't in the lounge when you saw the mummy must be the killer.
Correct. But we were all in the lounge.
The only one in the lounge at that time.
Convenient,
The three of us
Keenan.
saw the mummy.
Which means...
Which means...
Ginsaku. Mustache Man.
Wait a minute. Where are you going with this nonsense?
You
But
brought the mummy
you're
here.
The only one who could have appeared in front of them as the mummy.
No, he's not.
Is he the killer?
Yes.
Ginsaku.
Kill him. Aside from your hypothesis, you must also select and present additional evidence to solve a case. Boo! Not the killer.
Ginsaku isn't the killer. Nor was he the person disguised as a mummy.
How can you be so sure? But no one else had the time to dress up like that.
Oh, but didn't they, Kinu?
The reason Ginsaku isn't the killer is...
He was banging the mummy. I mean, Setsu. Well, the same person. Ginsaku wouldn't have given the mummy the key. Ginsaku couldn't stand up to Setsu. Ginsaku loved Setsu. He wouldn't have killed her, I suppose.
Ginsaku isn't the killer. Because he and Setsu were lovers. Apologies for eavesdropping, but I overheard the two of them speaking intimately. I don't believe that Ginsaku could have killed Setsu.
Is that so? Love can burn so intensely that it turns to hate, you know?
Don't look at the camera, it's weird.
I loved Setsu with all my heart. Although we disagreed on many, many things.
This is the time where
it's difficult
everybody
to
looks in
know
a different direction.
what someone else is feeling. There's no way we can know how much Ginsaku loves Setsu. It makes no sense to exclude him from suspicion on the basis of his affections.
Fuck you. I'm right.
You're right. Let's try this again.
Boo! I'm right, goddammit. Oops. Right. Oh, don't send me back to the Mind Palace. You son of a bitch! Can't believe you did this to me. Redo summary? No. My summary is correct.
Ginsaku isn't the killer.
This is a bit dumb that they sent
Nor
you
was
back
he
into
the
the Mind
person
Palace, but I
disguised as
guess,
a mummy.
you know, you could potentially have missed clues or something.
How can you be so sure? But no one else had the time to dress up like that.
The reason Ginsaku isn't the killer is...
Well, apparently this is wrong. I know this is wrong, so it must be this one. Ginsaku wouldn't have given the mummy the key.
Ginsaku isn't the killer. Because the mummy had the key to the storeroom. After discovering Setsu's body, we found the mummy at the end of the corridor. And it was holding the key.
Oh, what do you mean?
Think about it. Above all else, Ginsaku didn't want it known that he had lent Setsu the key.
No one can know.
If Ginsaku was the killer, he would never have put the key in the mummy's hand. He would have kept it immediately. Otherwise, he'd be the first person to come under suspicion for this murder.
It turns out he already was.
I see. That's a good point.
Is it?
Give me a break.
Ginsaku was not the mummy, so who was it?
Setsu.
There's only one person who could have been disguised as the mummy. And that's...
Me. Hinu. Masanori. No one.
There's only one person who could have been the mummy. And that person isn't here now.
What do you mean, isn't here?
I'm referring to the victim. And that would be Setsu.
Nonsense. She was
Oh.
killed before the mummy incident, was she not?
We don't know that.
When was Setsu killed?
Door was
And
closed.
that's
Nobody
the
got in.
crux of the matter.
Killed before we saw the mummy. Killed after we saw the mummy.
Setsu was killed after we saw the mummy sometime around noon.
Hold on.
Mhm.
Didn't we agree that the murder happened before the mummy incident?
Nope.
No. We only established that all of us were free to move about before noon, including Setsu.
So, who locked the storeroom door before we saw the mummy?
Setsu.
Setsu did, after she put on her disguise. She disguised herself as the mummy and waited outside the storeroom for us.
Why would she do such a thing?
Setsu went into the storeroom to tamper with everyone else's items, lowering their value while raising the value of her own. She then put on the mummy disguise to make the curse seem credible, thus further increasing the selling price. Buyers love a good backstory, after all.
Ginsaku's mummy, Masanori's sword, Josie's dragon's blood. Setsu staged her living corpse performance using everyone else's items.
After ditching the mummy disguise, she intended to rejoin us and feign complete ignorance.
But then she was killed.
Correct. By you.
We know that the mummy was Setsu. Setsu was still alive around noon, which means the murder took place after that. That leaves only one person who could have possibly been the killer. Yes. The
Yes.
person who killed Setsu is...
Nope. No. Yes. No.
The person who killed Setsu is... you, Masanori. Isn't it?
Oh.
Straight after the mummy
not denying
incident,
it.
we all gathered here in the lounge, didn't we?
And then you fucked off for 10
It was
minutes.
time for the auction to start, but there was no sign of Setsu. That's when you went looking for her, didn't you? You're the only person who was alone. You left the lounge, went to the storeroom, and killed Setsu. Then you took the key from her, locked the storeroom, and dumped the mummy at the end of the corridor. Once all that was finished, you returned to the lounge. Am I right?
No, you're way off.
When I went to the storeroom, the door was open.
Don't just confess this, man. Get your lawyer.
I saw her inside, taking off the mummy disguise. The auction items were all irreparably damaged.
I fucking called this like
So
right
I
at the
went up
start
to her
too.
and demanded an explanation. Without answering, she suddenly lunged at me, and in the ensuing struggle,
I just somehow
that
sliced her
sword
head off.
just- What happened after that was just as you said. And you know, I thought no one would suspect me if I made use of Setsu's mummy incident. What I said earlier about researching eternal youth, that was a lie. The truth is, someone hired me to search for the Tokijiku.
God damn it, everybody's after that thing.
3 days ago, I heard about this gathering from Setsu. I came here today in the hope that someone might bring the Tokijiku.
So do you have it?
I intended to win the bid, but even if I didn't, I was just going to take it by force after the auction. In some dark alley at night.
The
Okay.
Tokijiku is the only item that's still missing.
Now he's admitting to like premeditated. Anyway, you have it. Would he have it on his person or would he just hide it? Hmm.
You hid it somewhere, didn't you?
Somewhere in my pocket. Oh no, we've lost the music.
That fruit was originally mine. Someone stole it from me.
We can assume that Setsu was his thief. Hinsaku, you knew about it, didn't you?
Mustache? You? Can't believe it. Can't trust anybody with a mustache.
Please give it back to me.
It's too late. I've eaten it.
It's not here anymore.
I yeeted it.
As soon as I got it, I handed it off to my employer's lackey outside the manor.
You're lying! Why didn't you run away after that?
Running away is the same as admitting guilt, is it not?
But you just have admitted
That's
it.
why I decided to stay. Still, the plan backfired.
Who hired you? There's no reason to hide it anymore.
Oh, there's plenty of reason. I mean, I'll go to prison for the murder, but if I tell
I
you,
think it
I'll
was
die.
The Scarlet Camellia.
Humst?
That's what the lackey said. I've never met them myself. I don't even know if that's their real name.
Seems unlikely.
Officers from the Metropolitan Police arrived a while later and arrested Masanori Minami.
They didn't ask any questions. They just walked right in and arrested him.
My family has received the Tokijiku from the Sakakis for generations. And every 100 years, during our cherry blossom ceremony, someone would be chosen to eat the fruit. But the Sakakis were attacked and wiped out by forces who wanted the Tokijiku. My family had but one Tokijiku left. And since the massacre, we've kept it hidden so the world would never know of its existence. That was the fruit my father entrusted me with.
That hat looks so bad.
Take this. and leave this place now.
Go on,
My
get.
father's health was poor, and he often stayed in his room.
Same.
But he was always
Well,
kind
not the
to
poor
me.
health bit, but the definitely staying in my room bit.
On that day, however, he sounded so serious, so grave. And I just couldn't defy his orders. My father often said that people weren't meant to live without growing old. I think he decided to turn his back on the Shijima family when he gave me the Tokichiku. That's
So why didn't you eat
I have
it?
to get it back from this Scarlet Camellia character.
But you still don't know a thing about them.
This wouldn't be a
Isn't that
problem if you had
dangerous?
just eaten it. Maybe she just doesn't like fruit.
But I can't give up.
I don't like fruit.
You certainly are stubborn.
I have to be. If I give up, the video game will be over.
My father often said the same thing. I got it from my mother, apparently. But we were separated when I was a baby, so I don't have any memories of her.
I have a feeling this is meant to be symbolic in Japanese culture, but it's gone way over. It's
He
gone
only
completely
started
over my
calling
head.
me stubborn after I decided I wanted to be a writer.
A writer.
Yes. I want someone to read the novels I've written, to meet them, and hear about their impressions about my work. That's my dream.
I want people to tell me how good I am.
But everyone in my family was against it. They told me I should settle down and get married and raise children
Gross.
because the Shijimas are a family of doctors.
Times change.
Look at me.
If you're stubborn
I got this hat.
you'll always find a way.
That's kind of you to say, Josie. But tell me, why are you after the Tokijiku? It's not
I want to
something
eat
most
it.
people know about.
Because you agelessness or whatever. I have ultra cancer. What?
No, it's slightly different. You have one too?
As a prisoner of circumstance, I must keep searching for the Scarlet Camellia while guarding this fruit. The Sakaki family you mentioned, they were destroyed by the Scarlet Camellia. Your father was
Twist.
right. You shouldn't get involved. Eternal youth invites death. Ironic, isn't it? As
Where
one
do you
who
think the
doesn't
pocket
age
starts in
anymore.
those big sleeves?
What?
Wow, we're just full of terrible hats, aren't we?
Uncle Azan? Josie?
No, I did the Batman thing.
Casino!
It was my uncle, Azan Shijima, and his companion, Toako.
Companion?
We've been searching everywhere for you.
Why?
Stop right there. You know I don't like it when you smoke.
And also,
That's right.
maybe don't light a fucking match in the
Come,
middle of a
Let's
forest.
go back home.
I won't go back.
Ever.
Your father's worried sick.
You didn't come for me.
What year
You
is
want
this
the
taking
Tokijiku,
place?
Don't you?
The game starts in
Wait,
2022,
Casino!
but this particular period is 1922. I believe the whole game goes from 1922 all the way up. That's why it's called the Centennial case. Wow, can't believe you guys couldn't see me. I'm not even wearing camouflage or anything. And now I die. Aizen's lackeys are after me. I have to get away from them. I'll stay still and let them go past me. Well, I don't think I have an option because I'm about to collapse. But I'm perfectly well camouflaged in my bright blue kimono, probably. Josui,
Josie.
get me out of here.
Josie Kusaka. I didn't have a clue who the real person behind that name was. But returning home was out of the question. And I had no one else to rely on.
Okay, so she has some kind of poor faith thing. That's bullshit. I was right about the first one. Ding. Hey, fuck you. I was right the first time. Reasoning evaluation. Reason that someone was disguised as a mummy. Reason that Ginsaku wasn't the killer. Identify why Ginsaku wasn't the killer. I still maintain that he loved Setsu and wouldn't have killed her. But okay. Identify the wearer of the mummy disguise. Identify the actual time of Setsu's murder. Identify the killer. Yeah, I called all of that, like, right at the start, too. Anyway. I assume this is the end of the demo, though. Chapter 1, a murder occurs at Ginsaku Goto's estate. Ow. Chapter 1, the Wandering Money. Learning that a Tokujuku is on sale at private auction, Yoshino heads for the estate of one Ginsaku Goto. There she meets Josui. They work together to get the Tokujuku, but are embroiled in a murder case. They solve the case, but fail to retrieve the Tokujuku. Yoshino decides to pursue the Scarlet Camellia. So that was the one we just played. Then 1923, Great Kanto earthquake. 1929, global economic decline caused by worldwide panic. What the fuck happened in 29? Hang on. I gotta look this up. What historical event happened in 1929 that caused everyone to fucking panic? 1929. Stock market crash? That was that? Oh, yeah, never mind. Literally Google. I typed into Google 1929 and the first thing that came up was stock market crash. So, yeah, I think you're right, Doom Training. That's probably it. 1937, the Second Sino-Japanese War. 1939, World War II. 1995, that's a big jump. Alright, Great Hanshin Earthquake. 2001, September 11 terrorist attack in the US. 2011, the Great East Japan Earthquake. Jesus. God damn it. I can't get away from this. 2019, COVID-19. 2022, the prologue. Haruka, Akari, and Eiji visit the Shijima estate. So this is where the game started. 2022. A skeleton was found beneath the cherry tree of the Shijima family. And the son, Eiji, asked Haruka to figure out who the skeleton is. See if you can solve it. The case, the Centennial case. And to do that, Akari gave Haruka this series of novels by Yoshino, and we've just read the first one, the first chapter. Oh, wow, goes all the way back. 1894, First Sino-Japanese War. Russo-Japanese War, 1904. Beginnings of the Taisho democracy, 1905. World War I, 1914. Spanish flu spreads across the world, motherfucker. He came back. Spanish flu too. 1920, Shin Sainan is published, which is the comic series that we're reading this novel from. And then chapter 1 is where it is set. And I presume things will be dotted in as you play the game. Chapter 2 will appear at some point. Seminar history, and you'll find many other attempts to end this tradition. This will be the one that succeeds. A red camellia. You're the one who created the original Makoto Nishimari. If you figure something out, please let us know. You might have been able to save Mom with the Tokijuku. 1982. There were many cases of poisoned drinks that year, right? There were? There's been a terrible flatulence. I don't know. That's your little... What? The real? Anyway. So yeah, that was the demo. I wasn't playing the full game. Fun, though. I liked it. As I said, purposes for the stream, I dubbed it. Just because it's easier for people. Not everybody has the stream going, but isn't necessarily watching it. You know? I mean, I typically aren't necessarily looking at the screen all the time when I'm watching a stream. Might be playing something, or doing some work in the background or something like that. So that's why I dubbed it, but there is a fully voiced Japanese track as well if you want to just keep the subtitles on instead, or if you know Japanese, you know, knock yourself out. Anyway, that's the Centennial Case of Shijima story, available now. It's not a full price game, it's like €30, €40, something like that. Equivalent dollars, etc. It is a full motion video game, as you saw there, so it's filmed live action, and you basically just watch people act out their scenes and pick up clues, solve mysteries, that kind of thing. It's like being in a, you know, detective TV show kind of thing, but set in period Japanese history, which is interesting because you don't see much. You see very little about 1900s, you know, 18th century Japan. Like, it's very rare. You see very little about it. Like, it's almost always feudal Japan is what you hear about, or modern Japan, but it's very little. It's like entering democracy Japan, or yeah, that kind of stuff. End of World War I, beginning of World War II, that period. Anyway, that's it from me for this evening, because obviously that's the demo. That's as far as you go. I think I might put this on the Foley Fables at some point. It's interesting. I liked it anyway. Tomorrow I have D&D, so there won't be a stream. Saturday we'll be playing Resident Evil, the original. So it's PlayStation 1 version. At least I wanted to play the PlayStation 1 version, but I can't find it anywhere. The PS1 version. Like, it's not on PSN, it's not on Steam, it's not in GOG, it's not Amazon Prime, Epic Games, whatever. The only one you can get is the director's cut. So we're gonna play that instead. It's not the best version, in my opinion. There are some good things in it, but there are some really bad things in the director's commentary as well. Or director's cut, rather. So we're going to play that instead. You'll see why. If you tune in on Saturday, you'll see why. But yeah, that's what we're going to be playing on Saturday. Sunday, weekly news recap. So we'll go over industry news, any new releases, trailers, announcements, delays, that kind of thing. I also have our channel update where I talk about what we're going to be doing next week. So, swing by for that if you like. Thanks for dropping by, the Barrow Trauma crew, Doomtrain Inc., Anarchazima, Defor Monk, Nitro Blizzard Feather, and Melwin, who dropped by earlier, I think has gone off to have their dinner. Right, I'm gonna head out. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to catch any of these other Foley Plays game for a bit, you'll find plenty of VODs over on the YouTube channel. Just youtube.com/Doomtrain5 or Foley Plays. Just search for that. I should pop up. And if you're watching this on YouTube, Twitch is where I do all this stuff live. So if you want to jump into the chat and ask questions or make jokes or lurk, so those are all options. Twitch.tv/Doomtrain5. I'll see you there. Right. Thanks, Doomtrain. See you later too. Bye-bye, everybody.